Okay, welcome back. Uh, so this year we are gonna carry on with the strip down, and we've now finished off on the Evo 2 IS, that's the red one, and the Shadow Line. That's the two previous videos that came up now recently. We are starting on the triple threes. Uh, I'm gonna start giving you some info on the triple threes, right? So this is one of them. We've got the others that we're working on. The others are getting complete, and others are in for like a semi-resto. But there's three, four, five that we actually doing a full on, right? So this here is, I'm not allowed to disclose the numbers of the cars. However, we're gonna identify them later on, and just to keep track of it and just give it an identification for our purposes. So for now, what I can tell you is it is a low mileage car. It is white. The original color is white, sunroof vehicle, and it is a aircon vehicle. So, look, this car is not a, it's not a barn find. It's not a built up vehicle. It's not a restored vehicle. But over the years, work has carried out through it, right? It's 35 years old. So you're going to find these cars with these issues. It's how it is. This guy here is a, okay, so firstly, before I get on with that, the whites came in with interior colors. The whites came with blue on blue. So blue carpet with blue interior. They came with black cap, black interior, black seats, and gray carpet. Right, so black on gray, blue on gray, blue on blue. This guy is a black on gray setup. So we want to try and maintain as far as possible on the vehicle. And yes, there are a lot of parts that we can salvage, but there's a lot of parts that the vehicle still needs, and it's more on the trim side, the more on the finishing up of it. With regards to the infrastructure of the vehicle, right, the body itself of it, we can't really see. It looks okay. We have picked up some rustles. It looks okay, but you know how it is. We're only gonna find out once we start digging in. So we've already started stripping. I've attempted two videos before this year, and they all stopped recording while I was talking. So we've taken the seats out already. The seats are black. We're busy stripping out now on the interior. So we're gonna follow the same procedure where we strip out the interior, then we're gonna move over to the hanging parts, the boot area. We're gonna do the trim. The kit on this car will be something nice to take off because we've done the IS kits. You saw the clips on them and how they come out. The triple threes, I would like to see what clips it has on here, if it has original clips. And we're gonna remove the bumpers, front bumper, rear bumper, and then we'll remove the aprons from there because the aprons are tucked between the bumper and the bearing, right? With this car here, we have started the cars up, so we've actually gone through a checklist on the vehicles before we're gonna strip down. So there's a lot of electrical issues. The fuel in this car smells very old, so we know that this car has been standing for a while. It hasn't been driven. Engine wise, she sounds okay. It doesn't sound like there's anything. She starts up in there, but she misfires. She carries on. You can smell the fuel is old. The fuel is contaminated badly. So we can just imagine what the filter looks like, what the injectors are clogged up like, and so on like that. I took her around the block for a test drive. She's very rough. She's rough on the inside. The gear linkers are rough, and so on like that. Vent cage. When we started her up, the vent cage worked. Two sensors weren't working. And then when I took her for a test drive, the vent cage didn't come on. So we're not too sure what's happening between the control unit, the vent cage, and the sensors. We'll check that out. We'll put it on the bench. We'll test it before we start working on it, and then repair that before obviously she comes into the car, back into the car. Cluster wise, she's got the original cluster on it. Let me take the camera off and let's go through the car quickly before I strip down, just so you can see what we're chatting about. Okay, so the door cards are black, right? They're original door cards. They look cleanish, but this is where we're gonna put the Sonex brand to the test now. So we're gonna be testing this car out, testing their products on it, and seeing how we can revive it. The carpet looks fairly okay, but it's gonna need a steam clean. It's gonna need major cleaning through. With regards to the wiring, you can't really see much what's going on here now, but I do see insulation tape. You can see insulation tape. You can see wires hanging. See if it's all leave it. I'll go check it now. The cluster is original cluster on it. The trip meter does look like it's working, and the mileage that it stopped on is 196,000. So we're not too sure if the trip meter didn't work before that, and or if that's our original mileage, but it doesn't look like a car with 196,000 kilos on it. Like I said, the vent gauge, there's a lot of work to be done on here, but we'll get that seen too. We're busy stripping out now on the inside. So cup, this is out. Look here, we've got some of the material that's behind there, your shielding that's behind. Let's see how this car pans out. Engine wise, just got the trap motor in, so we got the B30, two B33 in. We've got quite a bit of parts here, but there's a lot of parts that's also missing. Like your piping is wrong here. You got cable ties holding pipes here. There's certain brackets that's not supposed to be here. You'll see here on the vacuum lines, but everything is gonna come out. Okay, so this is an ABS car. Everything is gonna come out, and we're basically starting from scratch again. So what I am gonna do is I am gonna show you guys how the whole jig process is working. We've got quite a few jigs in place, and let me just get the shop cleaned up, neatened up, get the jigs in place, and then I'll do another video, another overall video of that. Let's just go to the boot area quickly of the car. Boot area is nice and complete, but it needs a lot of cleaning up. I think we will be able to reuse this here, the carpets, but it needs extensive cleaning, if I can call it that, if we're able to reuse it. And this panel here, this is it's still controversial, where we're not too sure if the trips came with the wide panel or with the smaller toolkit cover. So I'll do more research on that. My understanding is that they all came with a small toolkit cover on there. The backboard on the car looks like an aftermarket one there. Yes, there are speakers that's coming out of the car that's not supposed to be in the car. And then you can see on here already, we've got issues on the boot lid, so we know this is gonna get changed. But body wise, we'll attempt and tackle that when we start on it. So guys, let's start up on this here. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the episode. Okay guys, so I'm giving you a different view this time around. What we're gonna do is we start stripping out already, right? I'm gonna work my way forward, so I'm gonna start off with the see, this is gone already. So I'm gonna work my way forward with the center consoles, the handbrake console, center consoles. Sophie will come here to the climate side. I normally battle with these two bolts here. Then I'll move over to the cluster area. I'll start with the door cards, right off. I'll start out with the door cards, and then we will start with the sunroof. We actually need to give power first, so we can open up the sunroof here before we start stripping out further stuff. All right. So we'll open up the sunroof because we need to get these screws out here in order to pull this panel out. I want to try and see what we can do with regards to the door rubbers. I want to pull that out nicely, pull the door sills out nicely. So I'll tackle that on that side there. So I've been busy trying to get my camera sorted out. I didn't bring all my tooling in here as yet. While I'm waiting for that, let me grab this handbrake console out. So this has just got clips, but remember this is okay. I need to slide over here first. Let's get this back out. So it's my favorite part of the car. What is going on in this? Okay, there's it. Then I can slide forward. So basically, unclip it. Then we should be able to slide it out. So keep this guy here. We'll come to the handbrake side shortly. I'm just gonna see if the wiring is in place here. Okay, the globe is in place. This is for the rear ashtray. While I am here, let's pull. So the plastic bumpers normally have a lock switch on your center console. The chrome bumpers have the lock switch over here. So you'll always find that the chrome bumper cars came with your 2-button center console, if I can call it that. Right, I'll come start stripping off now. Let me go get my Phillips. Let me get my size 10. Okay, so guys, sorry we are battling with videos, right? We thought we're recording, it stopped recording, and we started stripping already. It's been happening from this morning, so we've changed cameras over again now, and I hope we don't have that delay or that issue. Okay, so I've stripped out the handbrake console already. Handbrake console is out. Sophie actually got to the one door card already. I'll strip out the other door cards, but you can see the original sealers are still there. It looks like original sealers. So I'll get to that door card now. I'm just gonna empty out the big stuff just so it's not in our way. So I'm just leaving the big stuff here, and then we can move it. No, right. The window switches. We will leave here. Okay, so I'm going to my favorite place now quickly. This is here by the center console. I hate those two screws in here. I think you guys have noticed I've always run away from those two screws. So I asked Sophie to normally take it out for me. Okay, Soph, your two favorite screws here. Okay. Alright? Yeah, take those two screws out here for me. Right, and just bring me the wheel spinner for the steering wheel. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start prepping the cluster for stripping. So we've got two nuts behind this panel here, right? I showed you guys those nuts when I done the cluster gears. So it's two funny nuts, but you don't need a spanner for it. But you also want to make sure that they are tight going forward. What I am going to do is I'm going to pull the steering out. Just so it makes life easier getting behind there. What you say? I got the thumb here. Yeah. Okay, so you got the two studs there, and then you got two guides here, right? And it's nice to have the two guides in because you get this to line up nicely, and it doesn't look like it's been tampered with. So I'll keep that there. Let me grab your steering wheel out. So let's pop out the badge. I'm just gonna see what size is it. So you normally use we just use a wheel spinner. For us, it's just a bit convenient. Oh, yes, it man. So size 23 on the 4-wheel spinner. I don't think, besides for this here, we don't use a 23 anywhere else. Yes, so, yeah, so we got a nut here, and then we've got the washer behind it. Oh yeah, the pin is up there. Sorry, okay. So I was gonna fight with this here the whole morning. Okay, so I'll keep the steering. This here is the wrong steering to use. This is the tech one from the plastic bumper cars. So that's one of the things that we need to change and get. We need to get the period correct. But from the guys who've owned these cars before, most of them would have changed the steerings, because it comes down to purely preference. They prefer the tech ones as to the older chrome bumper steerings. I need to get a smaller. Have you got a smaller star there? Give me the small star there, please. So, in order to take the cluster out quickly, you've got your small, you've got the stars running all the way across. We'll take this panel out here. And you guys, while we're taking this here out, you guys notice that this here is, the cluster is different than the triple threes, right? So some people do know it, for those that don't. So the differences that you'll have is, you'll see that the cluster face on the inside is a shade of brown. So it's a lighter brown as to the dark grays that come on your normal E30s. That's your first distinguish. Obviously your Alpina is the first noticeable difference that you'll see. Then you get the brown shade, and then you get your orange needles, and then you get the 260 on the speedo. So these clusters, as to the ISs, mostly came with, if I'm not mistaken, with motor meters, right? So I think if you look at the periods that they came out in, the motor meters look like your older, not your older, your newer clusters. The videos, a lot of the triple threes that I've seen. So I don't know if it's just the Alpina cars that came all with motor meter with video, or was it an older car? Was it the older cars? So the earlier models that came with not motor meter with videos. So I've got the screws out. I've got one last one here, and you want to keep these screws, right? You'll actually see that these long ones here, they actually specialized screws, and you want to keep these here in so you don't widen the threads on the cluster itself, because that all adds to your rattling afterwards and your panel's not fitting properly and looking tacky. So you can see at least this guy's got all the nice original screws still in place. And it's a funny size, right? So you battle to find them aftermarket, you battle to find the correct head with the washer, the bolt-in washer into it. So now that we've got the cluster out, we know that we got another 2 screws up here. And these ears, you guys got to be careful with these ears, right? Because a lot of the cars you'll find these ears are broken on. So these ears are onto the casing of the speedo, and not it's not a bolt-on piece or an attachment. So when these ears break off, you've got to change the whole casing, which is now obviously the Alpina, but not Alp, I'm calling it an Alpina. But so you just bend them down a little bit. With the steering out, it makes life so much easier, right? Because now with the steering in, you're gonna have to wiggle it past you. Then I'm gonna unclip your blue, your yellow. So this guy shouldn't have a yellow, because the yellow normally controls the onboard computer. Right? It will just have the blue and the yellow and the white plug. So the blue is the shortest plug, the white plug here, and then we're gonna unplug onto the green as well. So I prefer using a screwdriver just to lift it up and yank it out. So Alpina, but cluster looks very nice. It doesn't look molested or like it was open before. So that 189,000 on the clock can be a possibility. Maybe the exterior was just rough. Okay, so now that we got that the speedo out, Sophie's taking out the climate control panel. Sophie, the vent cage on this car, remember? This is gonna have the vent cage on, right? So when you're stripping out those harness, we need to pull the control box is sitting here. So the control box must come out, but the harness for the vent cage as well must get pulled out. And that has to be kept separate and obviously marked. So let's see here. I think we've got 2 10s here. Got a 10 here. Is there only 1 10 or so? On this panel. Is it an 8 now? It feels small. So I'm just gonna pull off our headlight switch and our fog light switch and the rear fog light switch. I'm gonna pull that out now. We're gonna pull out the vent gauge, or we'll leave the vent gauge in. We're gonna unplug it and then pull out the wiring from there because we need to get to the sensors as well. Okay. So once that is out, I'm gonna take the ECU out now as well. And then, so what's the time? Okay, so let's have a go of before lunch. Let's get as far out as possible. Right, let me get all the door cards strapped out and then we can start with the engine bay after lunch. So we'll get a good 1 session video out for you guys as well today. So that's not, it's just tricky getting into here. So I should actually take the ECU out and I'll be able to get it, but I just want to finish this up now while I am here. Yeah, there's it out. It's fine, so it's loose. Okay, so you'll see it's these 8s here, or the wide washers, and you want to try and keep to all of these. Here's the other one here, so there is two. You want to try and keep all of these guys original, even though the end user is not even going to see it, but it makes a difference. Okay, it doesn't make a difference. It's just our preference that we make sure that the right bolts are going in the right places. So you can unscrew this guy out like this here. It's got clips at the back here on the switch there. So I can pull this guy out and just try and get to this nut. Yeah, it doesn't really make a difference. Okay, let me do this here. Let me get the ECU out first. Right, I'll have more space for the ECU. So on the ECU I've got 10s here on the side. Then so these 10 rough threads. And you'll see it's a different size, it's a different pattern bolt. So you want to get the right bolts in. And I think there should be another one more up here. Sorry. So there's a broken earth strap from here. There's one more here somewhere. Is she here? Yes, it's on the other side there.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Sorry, this one is just a bit tricky. This one is just a bit sticky. Yeah, giving me a hard time. And I'm being lazy. I should have gotten myself a ratchet and an extension. What is it? Okay. So you'll see the head patterns. The head, call it the patterns, are all the same. There's some glue with a sponge to it, which is original factory. I'm happy with it. So you guys can see this is the 040. 040 is the correct ECU. There is no Alpina ECU for these guys. You know, I'm actually gonna leave this ECU intact here, right? I don't want to remove it. We'll remove it when we pull the harness out. Just keep the clip aside. Where did the clip come from? On the dashboard. Okay, I see that. Right. So I'm just gonna leave that in place because now I can get to the 10 here, right? Sorry, 8. There's it. That's much easier. Okay, so you'll see the two tens are there. You can see this guy isn't. Mind you, what we're finding at the bottom here is not the same as what we're seeing on top. So when you start finding original screws, you can see the globes are still connected on. You know, you don't find these things a lot on these cars. You'll find them all tampered with and played with. Then you know that that is an issue. Let's put this cover back in here. So I'm not gonna unplug these switches. I'm actually gonna leave them plugged on the harness. And unless we get stuck by the firewall, I'm gonna leave them on. Obviously the computer box will take up, which that is definitely not gonna pass there. Right? Okay. What we'll do is we'll get the dashboard up first and then we'll get this cover out. So Sophie, you starting to strap our dash already? Okay, cool. Don't forget when we pull out the dash on the vent cage, it's got a small plug on there. Let's pull that vent cage plug out on it, right?
So he's asking me 2 prices.
Okay. I'm gonna start pulling out the door cells along. So I'm gonna try this tool out here. Alright, this is gonna be a little bit tricky because you'll see that all of these clips are still in place, which is a good sign on this car. Okay. Right, so that's a good sign on this car. We're gonna start off with the inner one again. Guys, okay, so sorry man. Between my phone ringing and between people walking in here. So this here is gonna be tight, right? And we don't wanna break the sill. But we know that we are going to. If the clips are original, I guarantee you that we are gonna break them. Ah, and I broke it. Shit. And I cracked it. So this is the unfortunate reality of when you got the original stuff in here. That's a clip. These clips will break because they get locked in here. Seriously. Apologies again, guys. So while I was on the phone, I actually took this cover off, and you can actually see it's an original one that was on here, right? And you're gonna break the clips. The clips are still stuck in the door, so there is no other better way to take it out. I'm gonna see on the next one if we will win, but yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna get this rubber out. This rubber looks still good. I'd like to preserve this rubber here, as stated before. But I think this rubber was changed. You know, I don't think so. I don't think it was changed, but you never know. Um, okay, so I'm gonna grab my one tool out. I'm gonna attempt taking the outer cell. This here was changed before. This was played around before. This one is much better to take out. I always dread taking out the inside one. So this one, you can see it was changed before, because none of the clips, it was only held but down by 2 clips. At least now, not a whole lot of sticker flex and funny items holding this bikey together. What I'm gonna start with now is the door card. So I'm gonna reposition the camera quickly, so you guys will be inside with me. Okay, so start off with the door card. Okay, so we've got clips here at the bottom. You'll see this clip is loose already here. You've got clips with regards to the door card. You've got clips only on this side, and then you've got hooks on the side here. So we'd like to pull the clips out here, leave the hooks in place, and then we'll slide the card up. So this one is out already, which gives me some sort of leverage. And again, you'd like to grab the clip itself and not the door card. You don't want to damage the mesh in it. This one is a little bit tight. Okay, then I'm just gonna wiggle it up. That's if there's no other adhesives on here. Okay, so it's just holding down on the beading here. Okay. What else have I have here? So door card is quite good. It's still original. One clip I see is out. So these are the clips I spoke to you about. That's your general clips. These are the special hooks. Okay, so this is not too bad. The clip remain behind, but the infrastructure on the board itself, here is good. Okay, so if I look here now, all we're gonna do is we wanna pop out your seat belts. I'm gonna pop out the seat belts. We'll do the roof liner last and just see how we can take it apart without really damaging anything. So sorry, I'm wondering why am I tightening this guy. Okay, so this is when it gets so tight, this is corrosion on the bolt and on the threads. I don't really want to spray any lubricant sprays on here, because it will stain the carpet. So this is now for your seatbelt rail. It's for this guy. Then we have this bolt here, and then we're gonna take out another 17 that is on the holding the seatbelt recliner. So you can actually feel this is so much easier to come out, and that's what I was talking to you about corrosion. You'll find a lot of corrosion on these cars on the floorboards. You won't find much here because the water tends to run down. It doesn't sit in here, and also the dust, because the dust doesn't sit in here. There's no moisture that accumulates in the dust and settles on the panels. Okay, so this guy is loose. Then we're gonna take out this guy. Take out this guy here. This should just slide up. No clips broken. I'm sitting a bit awkwardly here because I'm trying to give you guys some space for the video. Okay. Take the 7. Yeah. Okay, so that's out there. Just Sophie, just tell him I'll be with them now. Just give me a few minutes. Okay, so again, just an easy way up. Okay, so this door guard, like the other side, is in good nick. So we got all the clips on there. These clips are all in place. I'm happy about that. It makes such a world of a difference when we putting the car back together. Okay, so I don't think we need to record this here again. This is the 17 is gonna come out here. I'll pull this up nicely for so you can grab that out. Right, so that's this cover here over here. And it's actually crappy to get it on here. So Sophie will come now, take the 17s out here, take off on the mechanism itself, and then pull it back out. Then we're just gonna get the heater box out. We'll do a video on that quickly. Get the inside stripped out, and let's get the scupper pulled out. Let's see what's going on at the bottom here. Okay guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to end the video now, right? So we're gonna conclude it on the interior bits is done. When I start with the drivetrain, I'll update you guys on the floorboard because we're busy stripping out the heater box now. And if you have a look here quickly, we've got the booth partially stripped out. So rust, our favorite E30 partner, for rust on the boxes and we've got rust creeping up in areas. I don't know how far it's flowing through. I don't know what has leaked there before. Let me just check this other battery box here. So she out there. Let me just check this battery box. So this box is not too bad. But again, we don't know how far the rust is creeping through. It looks like surface rust, but we'll inspect it and see. Right. So anyway, guys, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. And part 2 will be coming up now with regards to the drivetrain strip out. Cheers, guys.